Hi, I'm Chef Alan Tetreault with Global Sugar Art, and today I would like to show you how to make the classic longiflorum lily, or better known as the Easter lily. I have a couple cakes, some cupcakes and a cake over here on my left side. This is a very traditional and classic Easter cake. It can be used for any religious, any Christian celebration, such as a baptism, a first communion, a confirmation, a jubilee for a priest or a nun, any church service that you'd like to have a special cake. This is a perfect cake, and it can be augmented with lettering or sayings or whatever you'd like to write on it. The cupcakes are done with the same type of lily, using the same molds and cutters, but we've accented the sides with some nice gold and pearlized pieces to give them a nice classic look. These could be used as an addition to the cake, or maybe a wedding shower, a bridal shower, any type of party that you wanted. So let me quickly go over what we're going to do today and the actual components of the lily. The cutters themselves, these are the Martellato. Martellato has 4 lily cutters, and you can also buy lily cutters by the company called PME, or you can find them made out of metal as well. There are many different types of lily cutters on the market. Today I'm going to be using the Martellato. To make the very large lily, Martellato has a former. These are a really high quality plastic hard former, and they work great. The gum paste does not stick to them, and that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. And they're already made with the ridges so that you get the nice slopes and curves to make the lily look more realistic. Because the very smallest cutters don't work well in the large formers, I'm also using the Cell Formers by Cell Cakes, and most of the ones I use came from the Cell Formers 2 set, but there are a couple that I use from the Cell Formers 1 set. And I'm just going to quickly show you. This one is already dried. These formers have 3 lobes rather than 6, so 3 of the petals will be lower and 3 of the petals will be higher, and those work very, very well for the medium and the small lilies. The other thing we're going to be using today are some stamen. We're going to make the center of the flowers, and of course just regular things like a rolling pin, some gum paste, and some colors. So let's get started. Okay, now we're ready to actually make the lily. I'm going to start with some gum paste, and I've rolled this out quite thin. If you're using a pasta machine like an Atlas pasta machine, I brought this right down to about a number 6. I'm going to put a little bit of cornstarch on a board, making sure that that doesn't stick to the board, that it's nice and free. I'm going to use the largest cutter, and I'm going to cut 6 of these. So just make sure you push around the edges and then push the plunger down in the middle. And that will give you a little bit of a line down the center. So we're going to cut one more. I have 4 others already pre-cut, so I'm just going to show you how to do 2 of them. Don't forget to push the plunger down in the middle, and then just pop that right out. From here you're going to take some sort of a foam pad. This is the soft side of a cell pad, and I'm using a corn husk veiner, and this one comes from Sunflower Sugar Art. I'm going to place that right over the top, and then just roll in one direction from the bottom to the top. And you'll be able to see that gives you a nice veining on the petal. And we'll do one more. And there again, you can see the veining. Now from here, we're going to frill the edges. Use a ball tool or the end of a cell stick, a medium cell stick. Half on the paste, half off the paste. So the ball tool or the stick just gets the very edge. And I'm going to make it rather frilly because lily leaves really are kind of frilly. And in the process of putting them in the mold, you'll lose some of that movement in the petal. Okay, so we have 2 done, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other 4, and then we're going to put the lily together. Okay, we have our 6 petals all frilled, and they're ready to make the lily. On the former, you have 6 peaks or 6 valleys, depending on how you want to use the former. If you're using the peaks, you'll notice that some of them are higher than the others. So on this lily, you'll notice that we use the peaks, so some of the petals are higher than the others. On this lily, I chose to use the valleys, so it looks like a more open lily. So it's your choice, and you can mix them up if you're using more than one on a cake. So to put the lily together, I'm going to start with 1 petal. I'm going to use a water brush or a paintbrush and a little water, and I'm going to put 3 of them together with just a little bit of the water. And it sort of looks like a trillium the way you did this. Okay? I'm just going to put a little bit of powdered cornstarch on there so that my tool doesn't stick. Now I'm going to lift this up, and I'm going to place that right in the center of the former. And this time we're going to use the peaks. So I'm going to put 3 of them on the peak. Now, this is an important part. Use some sort of a tool or a ball tool to go in there and push it flat against the bottom of the former. Okay, and that's your first set of petals. Now we'll do the second set. A little bit of water. And the second one. Now this time, make sure you don't put any water on the top, because I'm not sticking anything to the top of that. But I do need these 3 petals to adhere in here. So I'm going to put a little water on the bottom, and I'm going to go just up the sides a little bit. Because if only the bottom of the lily sticks together, it'll break very easily when you take it out of here. So you have to make sure that you bring the water up a little bit. Now I'm going to take these 3, and they go opposite the other 3. And just use the cell stick or something to push that down in the center. Okay, after you get that in there, use the ball tool or your cell stick and go around those edges at the bottom and make sure that they're stuck together. Just lightly press that together and all the way down to the bottom. And on a big mold like that, you can use your finger too. Okay, and then just arrange the petals so they look as natural as they can. And all you have to do is let that dry. It's a very easy process. So I'm going to get 6 more petals, and I'll show you how to do a medium lily using one of the cell formers. Okay, now we're going to do the mid-sized lily, and again we're going to start with 3 of the petals, and these have been veined, and I've also frilled the edges with a ball tool. And again I'm going to put 3 of them together in a little triangle. And this time I'm going to put these in the valleys, because this first set you want that to be lower than the second set. Remember, the difference between this former and the Martellato large one is this one only has 3 high parts and 3 low, while that had 6 of each. Okay, and I'm just going to press that down in the center, and we'll do 3 more. A little water. And remember, when you put the third one on, don't add any water to the top. Otherwise, it'll stick to your ball tool or whatever tool you're using to push that together. And then you sort of have a sticky mess. So I'm going to put a little water in the bottom and just up the sides a little bit. Remember, that's the important part, because you want more than the bottom to adhere together. You want the sides too. Center that over the top and just push it straight down. And then I'm going to use my tool and I'm going to press all that together at the bottom. There. And these are really nice because it gives you 3 lower petals and 3 higher petals. So your finished product, when that's dried, looks just like this. So we're going to go ahead now and we're going to finish the lilies after they've dried, and we're going to make the centers for them. The last lily was done with the very smallest cutter and using the very smallest self former. It was done the exact same way as the medium. So you can actually make several different sized lilies for whatever project you're making. So let's go, we'll come right back and we'll do the centers of the lily. To do the center of the lilies, I'm doing two different kinds. For the larger lily, I'm doing the stamen and the pistil in the center separately. For the very smallest lily, I'm actually just using purchased stamens of different sizes to create the same effect. So this is a really easy one to do. So I'm going to do the larger one first. I'm going to start with a white or green 26 or 24 gauge wire. 24 is a little easier to use, and maybe about 3 inches long. I'm taking a little piece of gum paste, a very small piece, of a pale green. I'm going to wet the wire so that that gum paste sticks to it. You can just dip it in the water if you want. Put the paste onto the wire and then just twirl it with your fingers. Basically, you're just coating that wire. And just keep rolling it until it draws down all the way down on the wire. You're going to want that to be a couple inches long. Now you'll be able to feel the top of the wire. So just continue to squeeze and roll that until some of that paste comes up over the top of the wire, and then push it down with your hand. Think of the top of a nail, or maybe even like a cotton swab, like a Q-tip. So I'm going to have a little oval or flat top. Okay, and then just try to even this off. And then take a small tool, any sort of a tool with an end on it, and I'm going to make 3 little notches on the top. So basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to divide that top into 3 little lobes. And if you can get a good shot of that. Okay? And then this should be slightly bent. You don't normally see this part of the flower sticking straight up. It's usually at an angle. So you could make these ahead of time and let them dry if you'd like, or you can use them freshly made like I'm going to do. These are the large oval yellow stamens for lilies. And in the lily family, for every petal, there's 1 stamen. So I'm going to be using 6 stamen. And I want these to be a nice deep yellow. So I'm using a nice deep yellow petal dust, and I'm going to brush those with the yellow. And then I want the green to be a nice green that's going to match the inside of the flower. You're not going to see a big change, but now it'll match the inside of the flower. So I've just dusted that with a little bit of green petal dust. Use a 1/3 or 1/4 width floral wire, and I want the pistil part to be a little bit higher than the stamen. They always stick out a little bit more. So just arrange the stamen around that. And you can always move these around after it's wired. So, okay, so then I'm going to tape the bottom of this. That'll hold it all together. Now, you're not going to be going up the stamen, you're just going to be going down. And that's the center for the large daisy, or excuse me, the large lily. Thinking of another flower here. You can move these stamen out so that they go in all different shapes. Now when I'm ready to put that in the flower, I'll cut it to the length I want. Now to do the small one, I'm using these little hammerhead. These are dull yellow stamen. These are also, all these stamen are available at globalsugarart.com. And because these stamen come with a bud on either end, I want to cut one end off. So I'm just going to snip those off. So I just have the 6 on one end. And this is where the yellow makes a big difference, because a lot of the stamen that you get in, that you buy, are very pale yellow. And this allows you to color them the way you want. Now, to make the pistil part of this, I'm going to use one of the large stamen that I used on the large lily, and I'm going to color that green with the petal dust. And this makes it really easy. I'll put that right in the center, just a little higher than the others, and I'm going to tape that together. Okay, and again, you can just pull these stamen out from the center, and I'll be cutting this to fit the lily when the lily is ready. So now let's do the lily part. I'm going to start with one of the larger. Oh, let's get one that's dried. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dust this with some super pearl dust. Leave it right in the former. The less you have to handle the flower, the better. So I'm just going to put some of the super pearl on the outside. Now, this is considered a non-wired flower. There is a wire in the center, but the whole flower itself is not wired where you would wire it to a large bouquet or a floral arrangement. This allows you to put them directly on the cake without any problems. The stamen are not edible. And of course the part in the center, the pistil, with the wire in it, is certainly not either. So there's the large one. And let's do the medium. And we're going to do a small one too. There we go. If I have a lot of these to do, I'll often put a plate underneath to catch the pearl dust, and I can just keep reusing it. Now take the same green that you painted the pistil with, and you're going to do the inside. So I'll bend that up, and you're just going to come up about, oh, maybe an inch or so. Okay, and I'm going to do the inside of this one. You don't want it to be a dark green, you just want a light green in there. To finish the lilies and put the stamens in the center, I've pearlized the outside, I've dusted the throat of the flowers with some green, and now I'm taking a little ball of green gum paste. We'll start with the larger flower. I'm going to take maybe about a 1/2 inch ball, and I'm going to put a little bit of water on the bottom of it, and I'm going to set that right in the middle. And then I'm going to use a ball tool or a cell former, excuse me, a cell stick, and I'm just going to push that down in the bottom. And it just looks like a little ball of gum paste in the bottom. I'm going to measure to figure out how long I want this to be, and grab my pliers, and I'm going to cut off probably about an inch or so off the bottom. And the only thing I have to do is stick that right in there in the center, and then you have a finished lily. And you can just gently lift that out of the former, and then that lily is ready to use. And you can put that on a cake or however you want to decorate with it. So that's the large lily. And for the very smallest lily, remember we only used the small stamen and one of the larger stamen, and we're going to basically do the same thing. I'm going to make a very small ball of paste, wet the bottom, just gently push that in, and on these smaller ones you may want to use a tweezer to push that in. because if you try to get your fingers in there, you're liable to break the lily. And there you have a small one. And those are perfect for cupcakes or a cake. Now this is the same size that I made for the large lily, but I'm cutting this one shorter. And this one is going to go in the medium size. And remember, there are 4 different cutters with the Martellato cutter set, so you can make 4 different sized lilies. I just showed 3 today. Put a little water in the bottom, drop in a little ball of paste, and then you can stick that right in. Remember, you can make all these stamen ahead of time. And there you go. And that is the medium sized one. So we have our 3 size lilies all made and finished. They're very easy to do. All the products are available at globalsugarart.com. And just to reiterate, we use the Martellato cutters. We use the Martellato mold for the lilies, and I also use the self-former mold set for the smaller and the medium lilies. You'll need some petal dust, a green and a yellow, and a super pearl. You'll need a little bit of wire, and then the stamen and your gum paste, and you're ready to go. To make lily leaves to match the lilies, you can use the exact same cutter, and also you would use the corn husk veiner as well. So for these leaves, basically what I did was I cut a piece of gum paste, but in this case I did not press down the center. So I just I cut the leaf, and then I veined it just like we did the lily leaves, and then I thin the edges with a ball tool, and then just lay them on a piece of foil like this so that they dry in different shapes. And then to color them, I like to use a combination of a lime green down the center and then either a light rose or a mossy green on the outside edge. You can choose whatever greens are going to fit your project better, but you're usually going to find that little streak of lime green down the center. And basically that's how the leaves are done. It's very easy. You don't need any special cutters. You can use the lily cutters that you already have. These are a super easy flower to make. You can make them weeks ahead of time. You can make them in advance and have them ready to do your cake at the last minute. And they're just such a beautiful flower, and they're perfect for weddings or really any cake. Hope you've enjoyed this video. The next video coming out will be how to make this cake and these cupcakes. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching.